Alright, so I wasn't gonna make this video, to be honest with you. I was just feeling like I didn't want to deal with the judgment from others, but to be honest with you, the conviction is just getting a bit too potent for me to deny any longer. So, everybody else has been receiving visions, and I know that it's not the whole world. I know that I'm in an echo chamber because I have a wife, and she tells me that she is not seeing the things that I am seeing. And I show her the things that I am seeing, and she's like, wow, that's freaking crazy, dude. you know? But now she is starting to see the videos, and I think now it is time for me to enter the game. And I know I'm shirtless. I thought I'd have my mask in here. I wanted this to be anonymous. I didn't want my image having anything to do with this video because it's not about me. It's about Jesus Christ and the Father of all creation. So, remember when those ICE raids were happening? I think it was like a month or two back, right? Things were just getting so bad here, and people were wanting me to take a side, and I was like, dude, I don't want to take any sides. Like, you are perpetuating a divide and conquer narrative, and I do not want any part of it, right? So, I decided to dip. And as I was laying there, practicing shallow breathing so that my body could think that I was asleep as the soul in between mind and body, what happened was that the enemy came by and they were like, oh, dude, if you leave, you're not going to be able to come back to this. And I was just thinking to myself, wait a minute, why are you using that when before you were threatening that if I were to leave, you would harm everyone in time, starting with my loved ones? So why are you changing the script on me now? And it's because they use fear against us. And after I left this vessel, they left me alone, and I was left to my own devices until I managed to leave time. When I left time, I was in infinity. Infinity has all of the afterlives that you guys could possibly give yourselves to here in time, all right? And these afterlives were telling me goodbye and good luck. You're casting yourself out, little bro. Good luck with whatever you're going to do out there because we can't help you. You're going to damn yourself. And I was like, whatever. I'm ready to be damned, Like, I'm done with this. I don't want any part of this. If I'm to be damned, let me be damned. I don't want to affect the whole of creation any longer if I am deemed unworthy for the whole of creation. So they played ping pong with my soul, sending me back and forth through infinity until they accidentally shot me through this little tiny sliver of infinity and into eternity. And I was shocked. I was like, what the hell? This is real, And I was told, oh, you're here early. Go on in, And I went in and I was given a vision, which is the complete inverse of what everyone else is currently receiving. So you guys think you're going to be raptured, but do you guys remember the ancient prayer that Jesus gave us? Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Right there. Thy kingdom come. We were never to leave this. We were to reclaim it, all right? And I just do not believe that we are supposed to leave it. I myself used to give in to the pre-trib rapture, and if anything, the rapture is happening in the spiritual realm. You guys have to do it yourselves. Like, you guys got to accept the foolproof failsafe that is the blood sacrifice of Jesus Christ, because guess what? Salvation isn't coming for you. Salvation isn't coming for you because salvation is already here. Jesus Christ implemented the foolproof failsafe that is the blood sacrifice, and he bought all souls in existence. You are all saved. You already have salvation. You just got to accept it. You need to rejoice and spread the good news of redemption and a slate wiped clean. So many push fear of judgment and damnation, and that is what they will receive. Those casting themselves out, thinking themselves to be raptured, they are going to receive that judgment and damnation that they've been spreading. All this fear that they have been spreading is going to come back to them. And the craziest part is, when that happens, it's going to be too potent. It's going to be so hard to deny. But if you can deny, that's your key. You have found out that that thing is not the Father. You need to deny it. It is not the Father. Simple as that. If there is room for denial, that is not the Father. Because when you're with the Father, the enemy may try to give you thoughts of denial, but he's just too potent, too amazing. You just cannot deny him. Like, it's amazing. And the enemy will soon be gone and no longer be able to give us those doubts. So I'm making this video to combat the doubts because say I am wrong. Say I am to be cast out and fallen, so be it. It is the Father's will. And I am making this video as part of the Father's will. I don't know what that will is. I don't know if I'm the big bad that I've been so worried about this whole time. But all I do know is that what is coming is real. What everybody is pushing is real. It may not happen on the 23rd, but what is coming is real. What you guys have perceived is real. But the date is not what matters. I honestly do not think it'll happen on the 23rd, but I was called to wait a month. So if I was called to wait a month and all this is all of a sudden happening, right? Because remember what I said, they tried to convince me that I wouldn't be able to come back to this. When I was shown this vision, the despair that I felt at watching you guys cast yourselves out was enough for me to glimpse back at this construct of time, back at infinity, and it was enough to tether my awareness back to this vessel. It's ridiculous. That lie was a huge lie. They said I couldn't come back to this, yet here I am. So, before I get on to what I think this is, let me explain what happened next. So I wanted more. And since I wanted more, all right, Father. No, I'm not supposed to share that bit. Not yet. It's only for those that are coming. All right, so this whole shtick is just wrong. And sadly, since I didn't follow that line of thought, now my mind is all mixed up because I was on a train of thought and I just jumped off that train. So let me just pause this real quick and try to get my thoughts collected. All right, guys, I'll see you, well, in a second or two, because to be honest with you, when I pause, you're not going to experience all the time that it took after the pause, All right, so I was getting on to what I think this is. So I dipped twice. That second time that I came back is because I was so excited for what's coming, right? But that's not what's important. So third time I feel like will be the charm. And as such, what I think all this is the enemy trying to use fear once more. But this time it's not the fear of no longer being able to come back to this. Now it's the fear of being, what's the word, left behind? The fear of being left behind and the fear of judgment and damnation. If I can beat that fear, there will be no more fears able to hold me back, for lack of a better term. So if nothing happens on the 23rd, that is my sign. I have beaten fear in all of its forms, and now I will be able to do what I need to do. But if something does happen on the 23rd, well, it is what it is. I am giving you my perspective on what things are, going to be. And it doesn't matter because you will have your perspective on how things are going to be. All I know is that what I was shown is surprisingly even biblical, being written in Revelation 21. But here's the thing. If it does happen and I happen to be part of the good guys that remain and you guys cast yourselves out, I'm going to be leaving a book in the description explaining how I did what I did, explaining the process and a bit of the mental gymnastics one must go through in order to do nothing, really. There's nothing that we have to do. All that is required of us for salvation is to accept the foolproof failsafe that is the blood sacrifice of Jesus Christ. But as for what we have to do, there isn't really anything that you have to do, since the point of one's existence is to choose their experiences. So if you want more, there will be a book in the description. It will be free because that is how I want things to be. But this all is what it is. I was called to make this video, and now that I'm done, it's like I have nothing else to say. Well, I love you all as much as you love me. That's why we all exist with one another. Just wish you all the best of luck, and remember to be safe out there. We're all going to get what we consent to experiencing, since reality is signals being sent to the brain, and what you believe is what you perceive, and what you perceive is what you receive. It all is what it is. We will all be getting what we want, and I don't know if I'm being deceived, so don't follow me if you don't feel called. Take everything I say with a grain of salt and use your discernment. I know that I fully accept the foolproof sacrifice of Jesus Christ, and that's why I believe I have been allowed to witness and experience what I have. I know that there are those that say that faith should be enough, but I was shown that you could have faith in things that you believe in and things you accept. And for me, it seems that faith gets amplified when it's aimed at something you accept rather than something you believe, because belief implies that you don't really know what it is that you give yourself to, while acceptance implies that you know what it is that you give yourself to.